Yo, what's good YouTube? ZAMCRO here, aka Scoop, back with the Pokemon Battle Federation Season 4, Week 1 recap. Basically what I'm going to be doing here is going over all 6 games of Week 1, and then that's going to be it. And then following this will be a Power Rank video, so stay tuned for all that. So, in Week 1, match number 1, we have the San Francisco 40 Arcaniners taking on the Seattle Thunderbirds. Now, Champ versus Spazzy here. Gliscor versus Spazzy. Spazzy is new to the league format. As you see, he drafted what I would call a cancerous team. And the San Francisco, he's been here for a couple seasons now, maybe 3 seasons. I think he picked up in season 2. He's got a pretty solid squad, no doubt about that. And looking at team matchup, I think he had the team matchup against Spazzy. I think everybody's going to have a team matchup against Spazzy, because if you can bring some wall breakers, some taunters, maybe some stall of your own, you can beat stall. That being said, we'll hop into the battle here and see how they played, and I will critique, criticize, whatever you want to call it. We'll talk about their game here. Oh, sorry about that. That always happens. But yeah, so he's going to lead Empoleon, and he's going to go straight for the Scald. Gets the burn on Zapdos. Unfortunate, per se. And he's going to Volt Switch out. I'm not sure why you would stay in there when you got a pretty safe switch in Gliscor. He set up his Stealth Rocks. I guess that's the plan there. Want some chip damage before the Sableye gets Mega'd. Switching a Dragonite in on a Toxapex, not that smart in my opinion. But we'll see how it goes here. He's going to double out into Victini, so I wonder what he was predicting there. Gets hit with the Scald. It's not going to do much. Toxapex is very weak. So he's hard switches into Gigalith here. Goes for the U-turn. And the sand ends, Empoleon comes back in. Can probably just throw off a free Scald, go for a burn, especially on Toxapex, which is going to be hard to whittle down. He does get the burn, so a bit unfortunate for my boy Spazzy. But my boy Champ's going to switch out to his Dragonite there and risk the Scald burn on it. He does get burnt, which is very, very unfortunate. Perhaps, well, I don't think he's got a way to get rid of those burns. Spazzy throws up his Toxapex here, which is actually going to come into play later in the match, because that's rough. He does hard switch into Mudsdale. I'm not sure if he predicted the Bulk Strike, but good read on his part. Champ's going to switch out to his Gliscor and go for the Facade. I don't agree with that play, because Mudsdale is actually going to be able to eat that pretty solidly and then get a defense boost. While Victini comes in, gets poisoned, gives the thing another boost, and then basically has to U-turn out. Basically, Mudsdale can't do anything to Gliscor, but Gliscor can't really do anything to Mudsdale either, so it's just going to get some defensive boost there, and Dragonite's going to come in here. It's not going to be pretty. I am going to speed this up a little bit, as Mega Sableye just sets up some Calm Minds there, and Empoleon's going to come in and actually defog the Toxic Spikes away, as well as his Rocks. I'm going to go for the Facade on a Mega Sableye, so not the best play. I guess he was predicting a switch, but really no need to. He's going to bring in the Mega Sableye and go for the Swords Dance, and hopefully Play Rough can knock it out. He does switch into the Toxapex though, so Spazzy playing pretty safe, while Champ's on the back foot there. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. Tapu Koko comes in and can't, well, I was going to say can't Volt Switch because of the Mudsdale, but it does go for the Volt Switch. Probably not ideal. Gigalith eats an Earthquake from Gliscor, so really nice. Not really seeing anything interesting on either opponent's prep yet. Beware is nice. Really kind of a tank. It dishes damage while being able to eat a lot of hits. Coco going to knock the Toxapex out pretty safely. Get the hidden power crit off on the Mudsdale, so that's pretty big considering it does get the defense boost, and all of these mons are physical. Looks like Mudsdale's going to rest up as well, but it can't. Wait, why can't it rest? Electric terrain? Did electric terrain stop that from doing that? I'm not sure. And now it looks like Gliscor's got to come in and hopefully get a double protect and try to live this. No, he just goes for the earthquake. He didn't even try to double protect. And he's going to lose 2-0 there. So that's going to be game 1, and we'll hop into game 2. So week 2 actually features myself against that Mad Brand. The Blackmont Raikurs taking on the Lacunosa Lucarios. And he brings a pretty interesting squad, and I bring a pretty interesting squad as well. Not try to be unbiased in this. It looks like his Alakazam can be beaten by my Mew. His Celesteela can be beaten by the combination of Nidoqueen and Emboar. Sylveon's beaten by Nidoqueen. Charizard's beaten by Donphan. Gastrodon is beaten by a combination of Manaphy, Nidoqueen, Mega Pinsir, just whatever combination of 2 Pokemon, if need be. I do have the Energy Ball. We'll see if that comes into play, though. And then he does have the Weavile, which is beaten by Emboar and Manaphy to an extent. I have the Mega Pinsir, which is beaten by Charizard and Weavile. I have the Manaphy, which looks like it can just run through his team. Celesteela may be able to wall it. Mew can run through his team as well, but there is the Weavile that's a threat. Weavile can definitely take out the Mew. Alakazam can set up Calm Minds and win pretty well, especially if it has Hidden Power Rock. Gastrodon can take on Donphan as well as Nidoqueen, and so can Weavile take on Donphan and Nidoqueen. So basically it comes down to how both teams play. So we'll hop into the battle here. Looks like the Blackmont Raikurs are going to lead with Manaphy, and Weavile starts off with a powerful knockoff, and Manaphy gets a tail glow up, meaning it's going to be able to take out the Weavile here, and then he's going to bring in the Sylveon, and the Sylveon's going to be able to eat this Scald and then go for the Hyper Voice and get the knockout. Nidoqueen forces it out as he goes into Celesteela, and then it shows that it's actually pretty powerful and bulky. So looks like I swapped out to Mew, set up a nasty plot. So he goes for the substitute. Now I'm going to throw off a flamethrower, and probably should have went for a nasty plot there. So a misplay on my part, but kind of a misplay to get. So both teams have misplayed a few times already. And now here's an interesting play. He's going to go for the Toxic, getting the Leech Seed back. Looks like the Leech Seed actually is what helped him survive that. It's pretty interesting. Mew looks like a pretty solid win condition, but he's got to play better. I should have thrown off a flamethrower there because it would have knocked out the Gastrodon at that range, and it would have did a hell of a lot to Celesteela. Can just swap out to Emboar here though, and it's gonna see what I lock myself into per se. But it is a Life Orb Emboar, so it's gonna be able to take out the Gastrodon. And then here's comes down to a 50-50 here. Is Alakazam Sash? Yes, it is Sash. So Emboar's going to go down, and that's my win condition. So Matt Brin, or that Mad Brin, coach of the Lacunosa Lucarios, looking to have this one in the bag unless he misplays terribly at the end, which is very unlikely. Probably should have went for damage there on the Celesteela. And now it just becomes a lot of mind plays because Celesteela is just going to be too much for the team. Not going to be able to take it down. I'm going to Swords Dance a couple times, predicting some Leech Seeds and subs and stuff, and it's just not going to work. Unfortunately, that Mad Brin, he is going to he is going to get a little out of hand here. He's going to swap into his Charizard to try to get it a kill, but all he manages to do is get it knocked out, because I do have the Endure Custap Berry Earthquake. It's going to be able to take out the Charizard, and then Sylveon's going to be able to live the Earthquake. So it was almost even a 1-0. So that Mad Brim played some risky there at the end, but I guess he did have it locked up in the bag because Celesteela was going to wall it anyway. But he should have preserved differential. He should have been a 3-0 win here, and he would be in a more commanding position. But we'll move on to Game 3 of Week 1 right now. And here we are in Game 3 with Ryan taking on Poketai. Poketai, coach of the Dallas Stars. Ryan, coach of the RB Zigzagoons. As you can see on screen, that's his username as well. Both teams have very, very, very threatening squads, and they bring some. They bring a pretty fairly even matchup here. Looks like Mega Altaria can really put in some work once Venusaur and Klefki is gone, as well as Excadrill putting in a lot of work once Landers is gone. But also, on the other hand, once Milotic and Hippo are gone, Mega Lopunny puts in the work, as well as offensive Landers putting in work, and Venusaur really puts in work after Darmanitan is gone. So let's hop into the battle here and see exactly what goes on here. He leads Darmanitan, and he's actually going to U-turn out. I disagree 100% with that play because he takes Rocky Helmet and Rough Skin as Druddigon gets free rocks, basically. Hippo, or Hitmontop, is a bulk up set. I really disagree with switching Darmanitan hard into rocks into a Venusaur, which could potentially have been offensive, and then just dying to rocks, or rocks plus recoil plus rough skin and Rocky Helmet and Leech Seed. But yeah, it's going to reveal that he has taunt on the Druddigon. So Ryan prepped really well and speed creeped the Hippo. I don't know if that's necessary. I don't know, what their base speeds are off the top of my head. I know both are very slow though. My Lark's going to come in and it's going to get Toxic on the switch and set up a light screen. So that's interesting. Now Venusaur becomes less of a threat, but he is Toxic, so he's going to be hard to stall. As well as Venusaur having Leech Seed, so there's that as well. Hippo's also able to take that and set up rocks. And then he switches into Mega Altaria, basically to double out into Excadrill on the Sludge Bomb, which is very, very good. It's the best play Ty makes this match so far, maybe in the entire match. We'll get into that after the fact. He does go for the spin, gets rid of the rocks. Takes Life Orb damage though, so I disagree with him staying in here. I guess he thought Starmie would be more bulky and less speed, but he's going to be able to take out the Starmie, meaning Starmie can't spin. But his team really isn't weak to rocks anyway, so I think Ryan won that exchange, getting rid of Excadrill. One Mon that can take out Klefki, no prob, can take out, being Life Orb, can take out the rest of his team minus Lando. So once Lando was gone, I thought Excadrill put in a lot of work. So Milotic goes down, Hippo comes in, slacks off to get some HP back. Not really going to be able to 1v1 a Venusaur though. It's going to just get, whittled down. He does swap into the Druddigon to sack it off, switches into Landers, and now he's going to reveal the tech, Grass Knot. So I really like that prep. I've also, in Season 1, I ran Grass Knot Landers for Hippo, but that's a topic for a different story. He does go for the bulk up. He's going to bulk up a couple times here, taking the Toxic. What I do disagree with, though, is here at the end, he's going to bulk up again after taking a Dazzling Gleam. So I really disagree with this. And he basically just loses his Hitmontop here because he will die to Toxic the next turn. And he's going to get up free spikes as he goes for Sucker Punch. So, yeah, really good plays on Ryan's part, just out prepping and out playing Ty. And that's basically going to be how this match turns out. But if this Mega Altaria packs Dragon Dance, Roost, and Heal Bell, it can potentially win the match for him. But it's not going to be the case. He's just going to go into Mega Lopunny, get the Fake out, and then the Toxic damage will take him out. So there's that. And I guess Ryan gets a very well earned 3-0 victory. Just superior prep, superior play, and I guess we can move on to game number 4. So here we are in game number 4, where we have Nazar Mack, coach of the Houston Rotoms, taking on Andy Luan, or aka Luan Originals, coach of the St. Louis Carbanks. Now, St. Louis Carbanks is a PBF original. He's been here since season 1, as well as Nazar Matt not being here ever before. This is his first match in the Pokemon Battle Federation, and he has a very, very, very threatening team. Didn't even bring half of his threats. Well, I guess he did bring half of his threats, but he didn't bring his other half of his. You can't bring all of them, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, both teams prepped well, and it looks like they've brought some pretty scary threats against each other. I'm going to give the edge to St. Louis in the prep because of Garchomp and Scizor being able to break through his team, depending on the Garchomp set. Now, Swords Dance set looks very viable here, as well as both Swords Dancers look very viable, and Magnezone can Volt switch around on his team once Diggersby's gone, and he does have a good answer to Diggersby and Chestnut, which is very bulky, plus an Intimidate user. So let's hop into the battle here and see how it plays out. It does lead with Garchomp, most KOs. That's a reference to last season where Garchomp did have the most knockouts in the season. So he's going to Parting Shot out here, and it looks like Andy's going to predict that and go for the Poison Jab, see how much damage he can do. He's going to swap into Chestnut here, and then start throwing up some spikes, Drain Punch, and then basically he's going to switch out here into Muck and get his Assault Vest knocked off. But that forces out the Tangrowth, and he goes for the knockoff and gets rid of the Power Herb, so that's very interesting. Must be Power Herb Solar Beam. Muck's going to go for the knockoff again, though. Unfortunate burn, in my opinion, as Heatran would already be gone and might have not got rocks up. Does go for the Shadow Sneak, and I believe that was a roll. Does not get it, and it looks like that was a crit, maybe? I'm not sure, but Garchomp's going to be able to knock him out here with a Dragon Claw. Goes for Dragon Claw to not, so Tangrowth couldn't switch in, I suppose. He's going to go for the Poison Jab. It does a hell of a lot, and nabs the poison. I'm not sure if that's going to matter. We'll see. Does get the Giga Drain regen, or I guess regen. He regenerates with the Giga Drain. But Garchomp's going to pick up 2 KOs here in the first match. Very interesting. Giovanni comes in and goes for the foul play, and Scizor can't take that. Going to have to switch back out into Granbull. Granbull gets to Intimidate off, as well as resisting the foul play. Doesn't name it franchise. I believe he's drafted Granbull every season of the Pokemon Battle Federation, which is very, very impressive. He does miss the play rough there. Very unfortunate. I don't think it would have knocked out, but I believe it was a 2-hit KO. Yeah, it does show to be a 2-hit KO. He's going to hard swap into Vaporeon here. And then Granbull is going to switch out directly into Magnezone as Vaporeon Baton passes into Diggersby. So he's going to have to switch out again. Don't really have a switch in at this point. And he does go for the Earthquake, though. And it looks like 2 will be able to pick off the Chestnut. And now he can bring in the Garchomp. Gets picked off by the Quick Attack, maybe thinking he was locked into it. So rest in peace, Garchomp. Gets the Intimidate off. Goes for the Play Rough. Gets a critical hit. I'm not sure if that's going to matter in the long run because I believe Diggersby. Well, I guess it does matter because Scizor couldn't come in and just Bullet Punch. So, yeah. So, it probably did matter. But, I mean, there's been burns, crits, and misses on St. Louis' side already. He's going to hard swap into... He has to save his Scizor, I suppose, to get a last-ditch effort Bullet Punch off on the Mega Medicham. He's going to be able to Thunderbolt win here if Mega Medicham misses a high jump kick, and he does indeed miss a high jump kick. Very unfortunate. Looked like Nazarmat was going to have the match in the bag at that point, but in hindsight, there was really, really bad RNG on both sides of the match, so I'm not going to go and say that either team played bad or didn't deserve the win or anything like that. So, yeah, I'm going to say good prep and good game to both players. And Jamming the Trap is an awesome nickname. So we'll move on to what is it? Game 5. We'll move on to Game 5 now. So I'll see you guys. Well, I guess we can just hop into it. So here we are in Game 5 with Slow Formula, coach of the Chicago Ursa Ring, taking on NMXMAS2, aka Rob, coach of the Virginia State Braviaries. So both teams bring some very, very threatening mons, such as Kieran Black and Jirachi, as well as Mega Tyranitar and Landers Incarnate. So we'll hop into the battle here and go ahead and get this started. Looks like Skuntank is his means of removal, while Crobat is Rob's means of removal. Got a pretty safe switch in to Rotom with the Marowak, but again, Crook is a very safe switch in, but he does get Will-O-Wisp, and Rob's going to stay in predicting the pursuit and go for another Will-O-Wisp. And not going to be able to live a second pursuit, even with the Will-O-Wisp. And looks like Landers should be able to come in and pick up a knockout probably. He goes for the gravity, though, trying to catch the Rotom, and has forced out by the Primarina. So the bigger batter Primarina comes in, the Tapu Fini, and looks like Jirachi's going to come in and basically force this out. Maybe set up Stealth Rocks or something, and then Ferrothorn comes in. Going to be able to set up his own Stealth Rocks as well, but a hard switch into Rotom is likely, so left Leech Seed maybe more viable. I guess it depends. I guess he can go for a hard Volt Switch here. Yeah, goes for the hard Volt Switch. So maybe a switch into Landers was better play there, and since I guess it didn't really matter in the long run. Chris going to go for the Earthquake, Primarine, or Tapu Fini's going to eat it, force it out again, go for the Surf this time. Catches the Jirachi. Looks to be a Spadef set. Very good. Goes for the Defog, get rid of the rocks. Goes for the Sludge Bomb. Doesn't get the poison, so nice and clean still. Swaps out to Tapu Fini. Takes a knockoff from Crook. No big deal. It's burn anyway. I'm going to double out into Landers, predicting the Rachi to come out. So good play, good play. Goes for the Earth Power. Not quite a 2-hit KO in the Primarina. So again, forced out here. Goes for the Ice Beam, catching the Rotom Heat. Maybe a freeze on the switch, but doesn't get it. Able to set up his Stealth Rocks now. So those rocks are likely going to go right back away. But he does make a double into Jirachi. Catches the Crobat on the switch. He's going to go for Taunt to prevent rocks from getting on his side. So really good play by Rob so far. Both teams are playing well. And looks like Skuntank had the chance to defog there, but chooses to swap into Jirachi and try to get his rocks up again. Mega Tyranitar catches it though. Goes for the Healing Wish though, doesn't even get his rocks up. So he does bring the Crook back. So this Crook has to be very offensive to want to Healing Wish it back up. But the Ferrothorn was in, so Power Whip or Gyro Ball, very, very likely to come. Rotom Heat can just come in, click Overheat, 2-hit KO. Excuse me, can 2-hit KO the Tapu Fini, but actually misses. So really unfortunate for Greg, aka Slow Formula. Able to bring in his Crook here though, get a revenge kill. And Tyranitar is going to be able to come in, take the knockoff. So that's probably a Banded Crook, maybe a Scarf Crook. Tyranitar does go for the Dragon Dance, so Kyurem's either has to be Scarf or gets knocked out by the Stone Edge. So Crook may be banded because typically a Dragon Dance Tyranitar could carry Superpower. I mean, Choice Scarf Crook forces the Tyranitar out. So now we got the matchup that's more favorable for Rob. And it's looking like Rob has the advantage here. Brings in the Crook. Can potentially go for the knockoff or an Earthquake, predicting the Ferrothorn. He goes for the Stone Edge, nice and safe. But it's looking like a wrap at this point because he can't really break Ferrothorn at this point unless he has the Fire Blast on the Skuntank. And he's going to double out into Crook. I'm not sure why. I guess predicting the switch himself, but Crobat turns out to be faster. And Crook does get looks like a banded earthquake possibly. And it looks very likely that Landorus will just sweep at this point, and that's going to be a good game. So that's game number 5. So I guess we can hop into game number 6 now. Good game to both coaches. That was probably game of the week for game 1. So week 1 comes to an end with the Toronto Star Raptors, aka or coached by Raymond, aka Mank Deem 69. Shout out to that username. Versus Skyrise, coach of the Goldenrod Zipstrikers. Goldenrod. Both of these teams had very. So I made my own personal power rankings. Of course, that's not going to be uploaded or anything like that. But I believe Blue Victini had both of these teams high in his post-draft power ranking as well. Very much threats on both teams. Very much threats. But as you can see, Goldenrod brought Terrakion, Mandibuzz, Registeel, Blastoise, Flygon, and Entei. And Toronto is going to bring Mega Aggron, Volcanion, Tapu Bulu, Snorlax, Reuniclus, and the Salamence. So we can hop on into the battle here. I know this was a good one, so we'll hop into it. Going to lead off with the Intimidate Salamence, but Registeel's not going to allow that to happen because of the Clear Body. Going to set up his Stealth Rocks, not fearing anything, and the Volcanion comes in and just fires off a Steam Eruption. Gets that very nice burn on the Blastoise. Unfortunate for Skyrise, but I don't think it's going to matter much unless he had like Waterfall. But he does show the Scald, so unlikely that he has the Waterfall. And gets the burn right back on the Reuniclus, so there's that as well. Goes for the Focus Blast, predicting the Mandibuzz or the Registeel. Catches the Mandibuzz, but of course it's Mandibuzz. Gonna go for the Foul Play on the Mega Aggron switch in, and Mandibuzz reveals Taunt, so Mega Aggron can't go for the Roar, I believe is what it went for. And then he hard switches into Tapu Bulu, and looks like it's offensive as much as that Foul Play did. Does go for the Swords Dance and gets Toxic, so unfortunate, but can still do some wall breaking capabilities here if he throws off a Stone Edge. Goes for the Rock Slide though, so there's that. And the Foul Play just does a hell of a lot after the Swords Dance. So basically, it comes down to what's he going to do on this play, and he goes for the Horn Leech, makes a good play, catches something on the switch, and Registeel's still not going to take much. Probably in his best interest to switch out the Bulu now. Goes for the second Horn Leech, actually. And Registeel probably goes for the Seismic Toss. I guess I can see why, because Registeel is a pain for Salamence in the late game. So there's that. Can weaken it down for Salamence later. And bring in the Volcanion here. Fire off another powerful Steam Eruption, but looks like Blastoise is going to be an AV set or some kind of Spadef set to take it on pretty comfortably, minus the burn. He does show the Mirror Coat here in case maybe the Volcanion wanted to reveal Hidden Power Grass or something. Not going to be that big of a deal, and Terrakion's going to scare it out really fast and go for the Rock Slide actually. Both teams running Rock Slide over the Stone Edge to try to prevent those misses. Catches the Reuniclus off guard with the X-Scissor, and Salamence brings in the Intimidate, forces the Terrakion out while getting off the Defog. So throws off an Earthquake here, shows he is a little bit offensive maybe, even with the Intimidate and the Defog. Hard switches into Mega Aggron on the Draco Meteor, and Flygon's just going to lose a special attack here. Going to hard swap right back into Snorlax to prevent the Earth Power or Earthquake from knocking him out. And looks like Flygon's here to break walls, and he goes straight for the Superpower, and does a hell of a lot to Snorlax, but Snorlax is able to revenge kill it with the Frustration, or the return, excuse me. And then we're going to try to break down this Mandibuzz as well. Mandibuzz does go for the toxic though, catches the Volcanion here, and basically can roost stall unless there's a crit, or unless Volcanion specs, which it looked to be. Terrakion comes in, goes for the poison jab. Now there's one of two reasons that he went for the poison jab. Either he didn't want to go for close combat because of the special attack or the defense drops, or he didn't want to miss the rock slot. So now Salamence comes in, doubles into Aggron, predicting the, well, I guess he wasn't really predicting anything. I guess he just wants to double Intimidate, which he will get, especially after this defense and Spadef boost here. Now Salamence can come in, forces the Terrakion out into Entei, and Salamence sets up a Dragon Dance. So it is revealed that it's offensive set. Gets a critical hit, extreme speed, but Salamence lives and goes for the Earthquake. And it's looking like GG unless Terrakion has the quick attack. No quick attack, and Toronto will win 2-0 in a very, very good game. Very good game. That was fun to watch. The disguise of Salamence, that's going to be Pokemon of the Week. Spoilers, it is Pokemon of the Week. Yeah, so that's my good buddy Raymond beating another one of my good buddies, Sky. And that's going to be it for week 1. So let me know what you thought about the battles. Let me know what you thought was the best battle of the week. I'm going to go with Virginia State versus Chicago. That was fun to watch. It come down to the wire. Both players was making competent plays. Looked like they both knew what they were doing, and they had really solid prep. Of course, this one was the funnest, or one of the other funnest to watch because of the Salamence coming through at the end with Defog, Intimidate, Dragon Dance. That was fun. But yeah, that's that, and this is how the recaps are going to be for now. Maybe get into some more advanced stuff later in later seasons or something. But for now, of course, it is ZAMCRO, a coach in the league, that is doing these recaps just because I told the league that we had analysts going to do them, but one of the analysts dropped out. The other analyst is full-time busy, so I'm going to try to help as much as possible with some generic recap videos, and I'm going to try to get the PBF YouTube up and running here. So that's what these videos are for, like I said in the update video. And if you like, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and all the good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.